After an eon of slumber, a cryptic reawakens to find his tomb world besieged. Now, the Imperial Navy threatens the very existence of this ancient dynasty. Will the Necrons reclaim their homeworld, or will the Imperium hold strong? Find out here on Mountainside Tabletop.
Alright, sup everybody, Brad here, and once again, I'm back with the Hierotek Circle. They've been buffed again, and I'm gonna see if this is finally enough power for them to let me win. We'll see. I'm running basically the same list as last time. I've got the Chronomancer with the Entropic Lance, and I've got a Deathmark. For my equipment, I've given a Phase Shifter and Tesla Weave to the Chronomancer. The Immortals got Devourer Scarabs, which is basically a single target grenade. And the Deathmark has Phase Oculars, because that's actually good now.
Well, I mean, there's not a lot that really terrifies me here, but the buffs have made the Chronomancer even stronger. There's a lot of situations in which he could be like basically a 5 APL unit. I think the Chronomancer's got a pretty good argument to be the best unit in the game right now, so you're gonna have to watch out for that, but yeah, otherwise, I'm not too worried. All right, hey everyone, Vic here, and today I'm finally bringing my breachers to the channel. Had them since Into the Dark came out, and have just never finished painting them, so here we are. I'm just bringing everything you can make out of one box, including the 2 robots. My sergeant has the heirloom pistol and chainsword, and I've got a Melta and a plasma gunner. For equipment, I've gone dead simple just to help my slow brain work. I've given a stim to everyone that's not a robot.
So really, there's not too much here that I'm too worried about. The Melta might be the only thing. I've done some math, and honestly, my guys are so tanky that even the plasma doesn't scare me that much. Hitting on 4s, I think the biggest struggle I'll have is that I'm going to be so outnumbered.
So for today's mission, we're using all the terrain that came in the Morok kit. The deployment we're using is called Boundary from the Crit Ops pack, and the mission is secure. There's a bunch of vantage points here, and they kind of lay out like this. Worth noting that the walls have the stockade rule, so they're not obscuring from vantage points, and there's some different fight first mechanics that might come into play. Because of the spikes at the top, they cost 4 inches of movement to cross.
Next up, we roll off, Vic wins and chooses to be the defender. So we set up our barricades and our operatives. Then in the scouting phase, we both choose Fortify. We go ahead and place some barricades up on some vantage points. Then, because of one of his special abilities, Vic gets to move his cat up. Then I have the option to either keep initiative for myself or to give it to Vic. I'm a bit scared that my Deathmark is out in the open because I placed the barricade a little bit further up just so I could get good shots off. But that means if Vic goes first, I might be able to get shot at. So I'm going to give initiative to myself. And the battle begins.
In the top of Turning Point 1, we both get a command point. Brad plays Intractable March for 1 CP, and then I place my attack order token for free.
In the target reveal phase, I'm going to reveal all 3 of my tac ops: Recover Item, Unearth Artifice, and Outflank. I've done this strategy before, it has never paid off, but I'm going to try it again. Alright, with all that out of the way, we move into the first activation, which I've already alluded to, it's going to be my Deathmark. I'm just going to move up slightly and hide behind this barricade so I don't get cheesed by a 3 APL plasma gunner.
Smart.
Yeah, kind of a lame first move, but, you know, don't want to lose a unit right away.
Yeah. Alright, with my first activation, my Void Jammer is just going to move up and hit objective number 1.
My Reanimator Plasma Sight is going to move up next and tap objective 6.
Alright, now I'm just kind of wasting time here so I can move up a bunch of units at the end, so my Geist Skull is just going to move up and hide behind the dish here.
Next up, my Printic's going to go and just give the Chronometron to the Immortal next to him.
All right, now my Surveyor is gonna move up next to the Void Jammer and then use the Cat's Wayfind ability to buff the Hatch Cutter. So he'll have 1 extra APL.
All right, next, my Immortal that's been buffed with the Chronometron is just gonna move and dash onto Objective 5. Zoom, zoom.
All right, now my 1 Standard Armsman is just gonna move up and hit Objective number 4 by this wall.
All right, my Accelerator Plasma Sight is going to move onto Objective 3 and secure it.
All right, well now with his 3 APL, the Hatch Cutter is going to move and dash near Objective 4 and then put a breach point in this wall to make it easier for everyone to get through.
All right, this Immortal over here is going to move and dash from behind this building just a little closer to Objective number 2.
All right, now my Cat's just going to saunter on over into the same neighborhood and stare down Objective number 2.
Now it's time for my first big money Chronomancer move. First, I'm going to move and dash up to this wall. Then I'm going to place the Nano Mine near Objective 5 here, and it's going to put up a slowing field all around the area to make Vic's life miserable. Next, I'm going to use my Command ability for free to command the Immortal on Objective 5 to secure it. That's a pretty good turn.
All right, well now my Grenadier is just going to hop up onto the satellite dish here and stay hidden.
Okay, my Despotech is just going to move and dash to this wall. Demand is free now, but there's no one in range that has an engage order, so there's no point in even doing it.
All right, well, Brad's all out of activation, so I can just move up a bunch of guys now. First, my Plasma Gunner is just going to move up a tiny bit next to the antenna, but still not go on top of it, because there's no point yet. Then, my Axe Jack is just going to move up and stay hidden here and start eyeing down some charges for next turn. My Melt-A-Gunner and Sergeant are just going to move a tiny bit to be closer to that breach point to get through easily. And then my Endurant is going to move up to the wall near Objective 5 over here.
And that brings us to the end of the first turning point. I'm going to score primary points for holding Objectives 3, 5, and 6, and I'll also score 1 point for Recover Item. Vic just scores 2 points, 1 for holding Objective 1 and 1 for holding Objective 4. So, yeah, it feels nice to have a little bit of a lead here.
Yeah, so my plan was to kind of go on both flanks of the board, but then you so heavily put everything down at one side that I feel like I spent a lot of that turn just moving everyone over from one side of the board to the other so I could start piling in over there.
Yeah, well, we know this strategy worked really well against Glass Half Dead, so...
Yeah, and it also worked really well against my Legionaries.
Yeah.
In the top of Turning Point 2, the initiative roll goes my way, which is nice, and then we move on to strategic ploys. I'm going to move my attack order just a tiny bit for free and then play Close Assault for 1 command point. Brad's then going to play Relentless Onslaught. In the target reveal phase, I'm going to reveal Eliminate Guards and then nominate this one Immortal that my Melt-A-Gunner is staring at over there on Objective 5. To kick things off, my Melt-A-Gunner is going to activate and breach and clear. I'm going to spend a command point on Overwhelm Target, and then spend another one on Blitz so I retain a crit and a normal hit. So with the extra AP, she can move and dash up next to the Endurant and then shoot the Immortal on Objective 5. Great attack. Fortunately for me, the Immortal's Feel No Pain is not enough to keep him around, and it goes down, which scores me a point for Eliminate Guards.
Luckily for me, I'm close enough to my Reanimator Plasma Sight to be able to put down a reanimation token.
Then to finish off the breach and clear, my Armsman is just going to move up and hide behind this barricade.
Well, that does suck, but now Vic's Melta is really exposed, and I'm going to try and take advantage of that. I'm going to activate my Death Mark and immediately use Phase Oculars, targeting the Melta. Then I shoot. I get an okay roll, actually not bad at all, but I really want to confirm this kill, so I do spend 1 CP on a reroll. Vic's auto-retaining 1 here for being in cover, whiffs the other one, and he did.
Yeah, that's too bad.
Then I had a big think about this next part, but I finally decided to use 1 more CP on Dimensional Concealment. This lets me change my order, so I'm going back to Conceal, and once again, being unshootable. It's just, why didn't they just give it silent?
Yeah.
It's so annoying.
Well, that's too bad, but now my Axe Jack is going to use her Wade In ability to charge and fight this Immortal. Get a great roll here, and it brings him down. In the process, I only take 1 hit and ignore 2 of those damage with a pretty good Feel No Pain.
Sucks to lose a model, but honestly, not that big a deal. I'm going to use reanimation here for free and just put a reanimation token down. And now, back at my turn, I'm going to activate my Despotech. First up, I'm going to cast Demand on myself for free. Then, I got a clean shot on the Axe Jack. And I get a great roll. I'm pretty sure she's dead, but Vic does have a Feel No Pain here.
Crazy Feel No Pain roll here. I was just 1 wound away, just 1 5 away from staying alive.
That was close.
It was very...
I almost had to concede.
Now I might as well.
All right, after the kill, I just move up a bit and stand on the corpse of my deceased brother.
Nice. All right, well now I'm just going to burn an activation here and start swinging everyone over to the other side of the board. So my cat is just going to move over to objective number 1.
Okay, my Reanimator Plasma Sight is also going to basically waste an activation, move and dash behind this barricade near objective 5.
All right, well, clearly this is the robots wasting activations segment of the turning point. So my Geist Skull is now just going to move over down to objective 4 by the staircase.
Okay, now my Apprentice is going to go. They will move to objective 6, still in conceal, and then give Chronometron to the Cryptek.
Now my Hatch Cutter is going to move and dash through this wall up to the next one.
Okay, now my other Plasma Sight is going to activate. I really considered buffing the APL of the Despotech here, but I'm concerned he's just going to die, so I gave it to the Death Mark, even though I figure it probably won't even be used. Then I'm going to fly over to the edge of the map and just set up for next turn.
All right, well, I'm kind of sick of my Plasma Gunner just doing nothing, and with each activation, this threat becomes less and less relevant, so I'm just going to move up onto the tower and try to bring down the Despotech. Hitting on force here and get a pretty garbage roll, even with a CP reroll in there. Brad auto-retains 1 from cover and then takes 5 damage from 1 successful hit.
Things are looking good, Vic.
Yeah, I really, really would love if my Plasma Gunner would have deleted a Necron, because you've already reanimated twice, and so anyone that dies now dies in real life.
Okay, well now it's time for a huge Chronomancer turn. My plan is to move over to my Unearthed Artifice token, unearth it, and then just hide out with a Conceal Order. I've got 1 CP left, which I've saved to be used later on Cortical Subjugation. This will let me redirect 1 shot on my Chronomancer to someone nearby, and I've kept my Reanimator Plasma Sight nearby for just that purpose. But I'm not going to do that, Vic. So the thing is, you've got 2 threats left on the board, the Grenadier and the Plasma Gunner. And I think if I get those both off the board, like, what can you do?
Yeah, not a lot.
So I'm going to do a real greed play here. Before anything else, I'm going to use Leech Power for 1 CP and steal an AP from my nearby Plasma Sight. Then, I'm going to use Command for free on the Despotech. He's within 6 inches of himself. He has a clear shot on the Plasma Gunner.
So to save this, I can't auto-retain 1 for cover because I'm only going to live if I save 2 crits, and I don't even save 1.
You're dead.
Dead.
All right, so that was for free. Next up, I'm going to go absolutely insane and do a crazy aggro play because I want this Grenadier gone. I think I have a pretty good chance. My Entropic Lance is pretty good.
Yeah.
My movement is still buffed up from the Chronometron, so I can move up a crazy 9 inches and completely negate the cover that this Grenadier is in. So I'm going to shoot. And I roll hot garbage. I do get 1 reroll though, so I'm left with 3 hits. Then Vic rolls to save, and he gets a great save, and shockingly, this Grenadier does not die. So with my last AP, I'm just gonna dash away and hope that I don't get wrecked.
I'm pretty sure that was a 7 APL activation.
Oh, felt like it, didn't it?
It sure did. All right, finally Brad is out of activation, so I can just take my time here. First, my Surveyor is gonna do Wayfind on the Grenadier, giving her 3 APL for her activation. Then my Void Jammer is going to move up and secure objective 2 while staying concealed behind this big platform. My Grenadier is going to use my last command point on Comhead, move and dash out, and then throw the demolition charge at the Cryptek.
Oh no.
Yeah, this was a huge roll, and Brad doesn't save it, though you do have a Feel No Pain.
Yeah, so I'm going to be rolling a 22 dice, and I need 9 5-ups to live here.
Yeah.
So I roll in chunks of 5 to start. Okay, it's looking good.
Oh, don't you dare.
Okay, no, I'm dead.
Yeah, a minute ago I wouldn't believe that my Grenadier would be on the board and your Cryptek wouldn't, but so now I'm going to reveal Headhunter and score those 2 sweet victory points.
Dude, I knew it. I knew, the greed, the greed,
yeah.
Dude.
All right, well, with my last 2 activations, the Endurant is going to move up and tap objective 5 since that slowing down mine is finally gone. And then my Sergeant is just going to move up to where the Endurant was a minute ago.
All right, so at the end of the turn, Vic scores 4 VP from primaries, and he scored 1 earlier in the turn from Eliminate Guards.
And 2 from Headhunter.
And 2 from Headhunter. Oh, I score a measly 2 from holding objectives 3 and 6. Okay, so Vic.
Yeah.
Like, obviously that was an insane play that I made. And as I was playing it, I was telling you, dude, this is such a greed play, but I'm gonna do it. Okay, and I had no reanimation left to get even.
So that's the thing, like, I definitely sent my Axe Jack to her death just to use up your second reanimation of the turn so that it would be impossible for you to reanimate later if I happened to get a shot at your leader. Because with Headhunter, I knew I only had this turning point to make it happen.
Yep. Okay, so I know this is next level sweaty, but I was like pretty sure, I know it was greedy, but I didn't think it would go that badly. So I thought my instincts might be correct. I went and I plugged the maths here into a calculator. So my Chronomancer shooting your Grenadier, I had a 76.93% chance to kill you. So you had a 23% chance to survive and you lived.
Yeah.
Like, sucks, not that crazy, but
totally
unfortunate. Then for you to kill me, you only had a 3.55% chance to kill me. So I had like a 96% chance to live, and I died. So, yikes. I mean, obviously I shouldn't have done that play, but I mean, what am I gonna do? Just sit there with my Chronomancer? Like, that's so boring.
Yeah, totally. It was that, like, completely wild chain of events. And then, I mean, not to mention, right before you rolled that terrible attack with your Chronomancer, you did the command attack with your Despotech and rolled like 3 crits out of nowhere. Imagine those 2 rolls were switched, and that would have so easily happened.
Oh man, wild.
Yeah.
Honestly though, no regrets.
Yeah, of course.
No regrets. Of course, we can't go any further without first giving a huge shout out to our patrons. We just hit 10,000 subscribers, huge milestone for us, and we would not be here without the patrons.
Absolutely. Their support makes it all possible, and you know, we really, really appreciate every single one of you.
Yeah, we've got our 1 HP gangsters and mountain goats! Is that too much?
You might need to compress it.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Sorry for breaking your eardrums.
Yeah.
Honestly, insane hype. Our dreams are going places we never thought they would go because of the patrons. And you know, for our patrons, we've got a podcast, and we've just recently posted a podcast where we do a Timbit tier list. So
and it gets pretty controversial.
Yeah, it's very controversial. You would not believe what Victor puts in D tier. Absolutely disgusting. Anyway, that's Patreon only, so if you want to check that out, you know where to go. Top of Turning Point 3. I mean, I still got this. I think I can be fine. So we roll for initiative, and I get the initiative roll. I win initiative.
Nice.
So that's great. Then I'm going to deal with all my resurrection and living metal. So I roll for the Immortal on objective 5, and he does not come back. That hurts. Then I roll for the Immortal near objective 3, and luckily it does come back. And with living metal, it's all the way back at 7 HP. Also, I get to set it up 3 inches from where it died, so I'm going to move him up to the vantage point. Also, my Despotech was a bit injured, so he goes up to 9 HP left with living metal. Alright, in the strategic phase, Vic slightly moves his attack order.
For Eliminate Guards, I'm going to nominate the Apprentech because he's the only unit standing on an objective.
And onto my first activation. So the Immortal that just came back is going to shoot the Grenadier. So I pretty easily get the kill here, and then I'm just going to move up and tuck into this dish platform here.
Alright, well now my Armsman, who's a little bit exposed, is just going to move up and join this conga line over by objective 5.
Now I'm going to activate my Despotech. He'll move and dash onto objective 2, and if I do get a chance to perform Overwatch, Vic's guy next to him is not in cover.
Alright, now the kitty cat's just going to head on over to the Void Jammer.
my Reanimator Plasmacyte is going to fly onto Objective 2, tap it, and then buff the Despotech for 1 extra APL.
All right, well now my Geist Skull is going to head on over to Objective 5. I can just make this movement thanks to the Geist Skull's fly keyword.
Now my Apprentic is going to activate. It'll move and shoot the Geist Skull. I get a garbage roll, but I'm going to use a command reroll here. And luckily, I do manage to kill this little robot guy.
For a second, I thought the Geist Skull was going to survive, which would have been absolutely crazy.
Tilting.
Well, now my Endurant is going to activate and breach and clear. So first, she's going to take a shot at the Apprentic. Get a pretty great roll here with Relentless, but the Apprentic saves all of it except for 1 hit and takes 3 damage. Next, my Hatch Cutter is going to activate and use the ploy Overwhelm Target. So I'm going to breach the wall, charge through it, and then fight the Apprentic. Get a pretty crazy roll here. I bring the Apprentic down and the Hatch Cutter takes no damage at all. This scores me a point for Eliminate Guards.
Well, I've got my Reanimator Plasmacyte close by, so the Apprentic is going to get a reanimation token. Alright, well, the Reanimator Plasmacyte has a terrible shooting attack, but I'm going to do what I can. And I can do nothing.
Well, now my Void Jammer is going to charge this Immortal. I'm not going to fight, I'm just trying to tie him up so he can't Overwatch.
Alright, well, Vic's Hatch Cutter is exposed, so the Death Mark is going to shoot her. I don't get a great roll, but I do get to upgrade 1 normal hit to a crit because of my Phase Oculars. Vic rolls defense and saves the crit, so the Hatch Cutter is down to 3 HP.
Well, now my Surveyor is just going to move and join the Conga line.
And I actually get an Overwatch here, which I think you might have overlooked.
100% overlooked.
My Plasmacyte here that whiffed the first time is going to look for redemption and shoot again. And I actually get the kill.
You know what? This is the same Plasmacyte that brought down a Nightmare Hulk against the Gellerbox.
MVP.
Best unit on the team, I think.
All right, well, finish it up, Vic.
All right, well, with the final activation of the turn, my Sergeant's just going to pass. She's in a great spot and is just staring down this objective for the next one.
Well, at the end of the turning point, I'm losing. Vic gets 3 points here from primaries, and he also scored 1 secondary, Eliminate Guards, during the turning point. I also score 3 from primaries, but I'm down 4 points, and I don't know if I can make it up.
Yeah, that was a pretty gruesome turning point at times. I think the interesting thing with Hierotek is once the leader's gone, there's like the power just drops out of them.
It's true, and you know, I knew that too. But sometimes the greed just gets you, you know?
I
like,
know.
as I was making that play, I was like, you know, if I just unearth my secondary token and then just hide and conceal, I probably just win this game on points.
Yeah, I hear you, but I think this next turning point, while it's certainly looking good for me, if you can somehow clear out a couple of the units near Objective 5 and you get some good reanimation, it could be hard for me to contest these objectives.
Yeah, you have a lot of APL over there, so I need to get some kills in order to hold anything.
Yeah.
Folks, before we move on here, we just want to take a minute to shout out Skirmish Mats. They sent us this awesome Desolate Dunes map, honestly the best one yet.
They've all been great, and I know we've said it before, but this one feels the best. It looks so good. Like, this is my favorite.
It really
one.
looks great. Just we got affiliate links. If you want to get one, it helps us out. It helps them out. It helps you out.
Yeah, it's a great way to support the channel and a great way to save a few bucks on a really, really high quality gaming accessory.
All right, moving on.
Yeah.
So, to start off Turning Point 4, we roll for initiative, and I win, which I needed. Then I get to make some reanimation rolls. First for the Apprentic, and the Apprentic is back with 7 wounds. Then for the Immortal on Objective 5, and once again I fail. So that, I don't even know if I have the bodies now.
Yeah, now you're gonna have to definitely kill some people.
In the strategic phase, I'm gonna play Implacable March with my last CP. I would love to save it for something else, but I think I'm gonna need the movement to get on the points that I need to get on. Vic moves his attack order, and then we move right into the first activation. So yeah, I think I really need a kill here, and I would love to move something else first, but I think my Apprentic just has to get in there, and because if he dies before getting a kill, it's over. So I'm gonna move up and shoot the Armsman.
Oh my God, Brad.
I'll concede on that roll, I think. We'll show the roll and be like, that's it. I mean, what can you say?
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
out of CP. I can't even reroll.
I can just pile everyone onto these objectives, so you can't score outflank, you can't score pickup, and you can't score artifice.
Yeah, I think maybe I had like a 0.1% chance to tie, maybe, but I'm just gonna call it here.
Yeah, that was I mean, it was interesting. You know, that was a really close game until I killed your Cryptek.
Yep.
And that was like, okay, yeah, sure. It was a pretty aggressive play by you, but there was some wild rolling involved too.
Obviously, I could have just not taken the risk, and I think I probably would have won on points.
Yeah.
But sometimes you just want to live a little.
Definitely. You gotta go for it. I think it was an interesting game because I set up so far away from where you ended up placing everything, and I had to spend almost 2 turning points just moving over to that side of the map.
Yeah, Hierotek seem real strong now. That mine, the fact that you can put it down and it stays there in the next turning point until whoever put it down either dies or goes again.
Yeah.
It's really strong, and I think I felt pretty on par with you.
Definitely.
I think, you know, the former S tier team Breachers and the former D tier team Hierotek Circle, like, even though I lost, I think they feel honestly pretty even now.
Yeah.
At least in this game they did.
Definitely. I thought the Breachers nerfs were, you know, there was like a pretty light touch, but they helped. I mean, there were a few rerolls that I would have done that I wasn't able to do anymore with Blitz.
Yep.
That definitely helped out.
That's one of the funnest games I've had in a while.
Totally. That was a great game.
Yeah. Hope you all enjoyed watching it too, as much as we enjoyed playing it.
Yeah.
We'll be back soon with more Kill Team.
Totally.
Peace, y'all.
See ya.